In the bright star of rock music, Jon Bon Jovi is undoubtedly a dazzling star. The Bon Jovi band he led, with one classic song after another, such as "Livin' on a Prayer," lit the fire of rock in the hearts of countless music fans, and became an immortal legend symbol of rock music. However, behind the gorgeous light of the stage, Jon's life road is full of thorns, full of unknown frustrations and challenges. These experiences, like the storms of life, hit him again and again, but also cast his tough as steel soul. Jon Bon Jovi was born in 1962 in New Jersey to a modest working-class family, the son of two former Marines and a hairdresser. Since childhood, music has been like a magical seed, quietly planted in his heart. He was born with a love of singing and playing instruments, and when he was a teenager, he was frequently active in various school talent shows and music competitions. At that time, he fully blossomed on the stage, and his extraordinary musical talent amazed everyone around him. In 1974, Jon, with a hot dream of music, officially embarked on a journey full of unknown dreams. He started out in local bands before forming his own. But the road to success has never been smooth. In the early 1980s, despite Jon's talent, his music career hit a brick wall. Record label after record label rejected him for the same reasons: his music wasn't good enough, or the rock scene was saturated. These cold responses, like a basin of cold water, dashed his hopes again and again. But Jon has an unyielding spirit, and he believes that his musical dreams will eventually shine through. To get one step closer to his dream, he worked as a cleaner in a recording studio in New York. Every day, as he swept the floor, he dreamed that his songs would one day be found here. At the same time, he also played a variety of odd jobs to make a living, silently accumulating strength in a difficult life, waiting for the advent of opportunities. Finally, the balance of fortune began to tilt in his favor. His carefully recorded "Runaway" hit the radio and became an instant hit. The song was like a key that opened the door to his success. Producers and record labels, who had turned their backs on him, reached out to him. This breakthrough not only gave Jon hope, but also opened a new chapter in his music career. He then assembled a group of like-minded partners to form Bon Jovi, including keyboardist David Blaine, bassist Alec John, drummer Tico Torres, and guitarist Richie Sambora. With their full blood and dedication to music, they embarked on the journey of performing everywhere, determined to break out of their own world in the music industry. In the early days of the band, living conditions were extremely difficult. When they recorded the album, they huddled together in a cramped apartment in Philadelphia, where the heat was inadequate in the middle of the winter, so they slept on the cold floor, wrapped in thin quilts, and the refrigerator was often empty. But even so, their passion for music has not diminished, and they continue to create in difficult circumstances. In 1986, the band released their second album, When Slippery, which was an instant hit and catapulted them to global stardom. Their songs spread to every corner of the world, packed stadiums wherever they went, and the music charts were dominated by their work. However, behind the glory, crisis quietly descended. After years of non-stop world touring, the band members were exhausted, and enormous pressure hung over them like a dark cloud. As the lead singer and soul of the band, Jon is under more pressure than anyone else. On the stage, he will go all out to bring the audience a shock performance. Off stage, he is also responsible for songwriting and managing the band. Long-term high-intensity work, so that his body and mind have suffered a huge loss. While Jon was suffering from exhaustion, there were serious problems within the band. The relationship between Jon and Richie, two musical partners who had worked together to create countless successes, deteriorated due to stress, exhaustion, and differences in creative ideas. The relationship between the two has stalled, and the once deep friendship has been shattered in the storm, leaving fans heartbroken. After the departure of the band members and the inner struggle, Jon's health is again on the red light. In 2022, attentive fans noticed a change in his singing, as his once powerful voice, which could handle high notes with ease, became hoarse and erratic. At first, everyone thought it was caused by too much fatigue on tour, but after a period of rest, the situation did not get better, but more serious. John himself realized the seriousness of the problem and was filled with anxiety and fear. After a performance in Nashville, his wife Dorcia's honest feedback, so he had to face this harsh reality. After a series of professional medical tests, he was diagnosed with a condition called vocal atrophy, which thickens one vocal cord and weakens the other. The diagnosis came as a devastating blow to John, who sings for a living. He began to doubt himself and even questioned why God had treated him this way. But the toughness in John's bones was once again inspired. He was not beaten down by the disease, actively sought the help of medical experts, and in June 2022, he underwent surgery on the inside of his vocal cords. In a double whammy, John was also hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. On October 30, 2021, before a fan event in Miami, he tested positive for COVID-19 and was forced to leave the venue for isolation, unable to perform on stage. His voice, which had already raised concerns among fans, got worse after he contracted COVID-19. Scientific studies have shown that the novel coronavirus can affect the respiratory system, which in turn causes damage to the voice. This is no doubt worse for John, who is already suffering from vocal cord degeneration. In addition to his physical ailments, John also faced significant challenges with his mental health. Richie's departure in 2013 plunged him into a deep depression. At the same time, a bitter dispute with the record company caused the band's album release to be blocked, which made his psychological burden even heavier. His daughter Stephanie's drug overdose in 2012 has become an eternal pain in his heart. When he received the news that his daughter was in a coma in her college dorm room, his heart was torn apart. Fortunately, his daughter survived, but the experience made him realize that no matter how successful his career is, life can strike him hard at any time. However, in the face of the ensuing difficulties, Jon Bon Jovi never chose to give up. He closely relies on the support and companionship of his family to turn his inner pain and struggle into inspiration for music creation. His music is no longer just a simple melody and lyrics, but also a true portrayal of his life experience, full of his perception of life and persistent pursuit of dreams. He used his own experience to tell people that even if life is full of suffering and setbacks, as long as there is a dream in the heart and a firm belief, we will be able to walk out of the darkness and meet the light. Today, Jon Bon Jovi is still active on the music scene. His mid-2024 show in Nashville marked his gradual return to live music. In June of the same year, Bon Jovi released their 16th studio album, Forever, which is not only another masterpiece of his musical career, but also a powerful testimony to his tenacity.